I've made sure that every single day in this office, I put Canadians first, that I have people's backs. And that's why I'm here to tell you all that we got you. Even in the very last days of this government, we will not let Canadians down today and long into the future. Good morning, everyone. But before I begin, I want to address what I know is top of mind for all Canadians. Yesterday, I spoke with President Trump, and I reiterated the facts. Our border is secure, and less than 1% of the illegal fentanyl entering the United States comes from Canada. Even so, we took action with our $1.3 billion plan to further strengthen our border. I also stressed that the tariffs the U.S. administration chose to impose will hurt American workers and businesses, and that, as our shared history has proven, we should work together instead to tackle today's challenges rather than fighting one another. Canada's ministers, officials, and I will continue to engage with our American counterparts. Our goal remains to get these tariffs, all tariffs, removed. In the meantime, we'll be taking action to support Canadians through the tough times ahead. You can count on leadership right across the country, municipalities, provinces, and indeed, your federal government. But mostly, you can continue to count on each other. Canadians have been there for each other, for small businesses, for local producers, for friends. Canadians will pull together and continue to pull together with deep, deep pride in country as all of us stand together to defend Canada. En même temps de faire le nécessaire pour protéger nos travailleurs et nos entreprises, on continue notre travail pour rendre la vie plus abordable pour les familles canadiennes et notre classe moyenne. Et c'est ce qui nous rassemble ici aujourd'hui. Merci de vous joindre à Myriam, Jenna, Yasser et moi pour une annonce qui est un peu un retour aux sources pour moi. Aider la classe moyenne et les familles qui en font partie, c'était au cœur des raisons pour lesquelles je me suis présenté pour servir les Canadiens en 2015. J'ai toujours pris cet engagement au sérieux, j'ai agi en conséquence et je vais continuer de le faire jusqu'à ma toute dernière seconde en tant que Premier ministre. On a lancé l'allocation canadienne pour enfants, qui a sorti des centaines de milliers d'enfants et de familles de la pauvreté. Les enfants étaient une des priorités dans notre régime canadien de soins dentaires et ces enfants étaient parmi les premiers à y avoir accès. On a créé notre programme national d'alimentation scolaire qui, en plus d'aider les enfants à mieux réussir à l'école et à grandir en meilleure santé, va permettre aux parents d'économiser des centaines de dollars par année. Et on a aussi lancé notre programme pan-canadien pour les garderies, grâce auquel on est rassemblés ici aujourd'hui. Now, since 2015, my focus, our focus has been on stepping up for Canadian families and the middle class. We've done it with middle class tax cuts, with the Canada Child Benefit that has lifted hundreds of thousands of kids out of poverty, the school food program, dental care, and child care. Child care being the reason we're gathered here today. For decades in this country, people have been talking about creating a national child care system. And to be fair, sometimes governments got close, but it just never got done. Then in 2020, the pandemic showed everyone what many parents, advocates, and smart economists already knew. Childcare is not a luxury, it's a necessity. It's not just a nice-to-have social program, it's a foundational building block of a strong economy. So we worked like hell with provinces, territories, and providers, drawing on the successful experience of 25 years in Quebec to make it a reality right across the country. And it wasn't a moment too soon. In recent years, our program supported families through a cost of living crisis, and it even helped avoid a recession. Families were able to save thousands of dollars on childcare, just as global inflation and interest rates jacked up their mortgages and squeezed their family budgets hard. It's been and continues to be a game changer for so many of them. Now, when we first committed to Canada-wide early learning and childcare, we said we would cut fees quickly and create 250,000 $10-a-day childcare spaces. We heard a lot of naysayers. But today, it's hard for those folks to deny the facts. As of this year, 150,000 new affordable spaces have been created or funded, and we are on track to reach our goal of creating 100,000 more by this time next year. Today, families are saving thousands of dollars thanks to this program. Per child, per year, savings can reach $6,000 in Nova Scotia, over $10,000 in Ontario, and over $13,000 in Alberta. Per child. See, this is great news, not only for parents, not only for kids, but for our entire economy. Childcare means that parents, especially mothers, can choose to fully participate in our workforce because they don't have to decide between their career and their children. It helped reduce the gender wage gap, child poverty, and inequality. In 2015, women were earning 84 cents on the dollar. Today, that's up to 88 cents, still not good enough, but climbing. In 2015, over 16% of Canadians under 18 lived in poverty. Today, it's less than 10%. Again, still not enough, but it is significant progress that has not just led to better outcomes for individuals and better quality of life for people, but it's led to better economic growth for entire country. And childcare is a matter of fairness. It strengthens our economy, makes it more resilient, and that's never been as important as it is right now. Now, we can be proud of the progress we've seen since 2021, but I think all Canadians know that we can't take that progress for granted. As Jenna mentioned, Pierre Poilievre and the Conservative Party of Canada never believed in childcare. They always voted and campaigned against it at every opportunity. In fact, they voted against each and every one of the measures to help Canadian families in the middle class that I just listed. Now, right now, we have a Canada-wide childcare program that is off to a phenomenal start. But the 5-year agreements we first signed with the provinces and territories are expiring next March. And that's a source of concern for providers, for parents, and for provinces. People are worried about what will happen next year. I think of a family I met. Those kids 3 years old in childcare. They're worried that suddenly their costs are going to go up from $10 back to $40, $50 a day. They can't handle that in this economy. I think about young families that I meet that are excited about starting a family, but worried that they might have missed the window on childcare. That a change in government could mean, nope, $10 a day childcare was a blip that helped a few, but won't be there for them into the future. As a country, we simply cannot go back to making families pay the equivalent of a monthly mortgage payment for childcare. I think we all understand that building a Canada-wide childcare system that will stand the test of time will take more than just a couple of years. We are building an entire system almost from scratch, in the sense that the coordination, the impact varied widely from region to region, from province to province. So creating a national expectation that wherever you are, wherever you're raising your family in this country, you can rely on the support that affordable quality childcare will give you is one of those things that is nation building. Young families and our early childhood educators and providers need reliable, long-term funding to plan for the future, to plan for Canada's future. On a personal level, I've made sure that every single day in this office, I put Canadians first, that I have people's backs. And that's why I'm here to tell you all that we got you. Even in the very last days of this government, we will not let Canadians down today and long into the future. Because in the past few weeks, we've been working with our provincial and territorial partners to make sure that families can rely on this system, not just for years to come, but will allow this system to lock in, to become something that no government, a year from now, 5 years from now, 20 years from now, could ever go back on. And it's hard to do, because there is nothing one government can't do that can't be undone by the following government, unless Canadians are very clear on the need to keep this going. So we are going to make sure that more Canadians over the coming years understand that childcare is a foundational building block of what it means to be Canadian, like healthcare or social programs or cheering at a Canadian anthem. Today, we have great news to share. We've reached a deal with 11 of 13 provinces and territories to extend current early learning and childcare agreements until March 2031. And not only are we extending current agreements, we're also increasing the funding that these agreements provide by 3% per year to help provinces and territories deal with costs that we know will rise over the coming years. It includes funding for 35,000 affordable spaces across nearly 1,000 Indigenous early learning and childcare sites, including more than 10 new centres in Métis communities, with more to be created in the next 2 years. And on childcare, we're also stepping up directly in federal jurisdiction by making sure that military families have the childcare supports they need. In recent years, I've had the honor of meeting many of the men and women in our armed forces, and childcare is a concern that I repeatedly heard about. The Canadian Armed Forces protect Canadians and our freedoms every single day, both abroad and at home. They and their families sacrifice much to serve Canada and Canadians, and they should have reliable, affordable access to quality childcare. That's why we're working with not-for-profit childcare providers to expand near bases and creating opportunities for scholarships for interested CAF family members to train and certify as early childhood educators. We're also creating a network of childcare coordinators to help families as they move from base to base quickly connect to local childcare resources. And by doing so, we're also encouraging more Canadians to join our armed forces, because they'll know that they can raise a family and defend and serve our country all at the same time, that we see the needs to support military families. Now, your federal Liberal government got it done, but Liberal, Progressive, Conservative, and NDP provincial governments are all a part of today's agreement, and that is great. That is as it must be. Because helping families, helping the middle class, that's not just a Liberal priority, that's a Canadian priority. All parties, all governments must press forward until there is an affordable childcare space for every family that wants them long into the future. And if we persist, a few years from now, Canadians will rightly view childcare as one of the foundational pillars of our economy, of our society. And I know that decades from now, future generations will benefit hugely from the choices we all made together today, as it should be. Merci beaucoup, mes amis. Thank you very much.